Hey, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I hope you're having a blessed day wherever in the world you are today. I'm Dr. Eric Deputy, and I'm honored and privileged to be able to share with you today a little behind the curtain look at the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence. I got to tell you, we have hundreds of thousands of doctors so excited about what it is that we're doing, and ultimately, millions and millions of lives are going to be positively changed and impacted by what we're doing at the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, it's no coincidence that we are where we are at such a time as this. Look, you're hearing all over the news, in whatever country that you're living in, healthcare and the lack of health and care and the systems that are broken are at the forefront of every political conversation, at every economic conversation, and quite honestly, at the mouths of every man, woman, and child on planet Earth. People are sick and tired of being sick and tired. They don't know where to turn. They don't know what to do, and they're looking for a solution. Many of you know I'm blessed and honored and privileged to also be a part of the Make America Healthy Again campaign, which I've been a part of now for the last 4 years. And we're excited that we're actually not just shining the light on the problems that exist to this day with our food supply, our drug supplies, our lack of our lack of going after the root cause of a problem, and the reality that medicine and healthcare and allopathic medicine primarily is the leading cause of death in most countries. In fact, in the United States alone, death by medicine is the third leading cause of death, just underneath heart disease and cancers. And so the system is broken. And so we're excited to share with you one of the many solutions to correct this broken system. And that's our Biolimitless Centers of Excellence. So let's dig into this. I want you to sit back and enjoy this conversation about what it is that we've created and the proof of concept that we've already been able to share with the world that is, well, going to change the way that healthcare is delivered and received forever. So, first of all, at Biolimitless, you have to understand physiology doesn't lie. We test, we don't guess. How many of you are so sick and tired of going to a doctor's office and before you even enter the room with the physician, they already have a prescription written for you for your symptoms that you've got? Or how many of you are just sick and tired of being sick and tired and not getting answers to your problems? Because the root cause is never even addressed, let alone discussed on how to treat it or prevent it. So the biolimitless difference is really this. We measure function. And there's five primary aspects to health that you need to understand. We call them the five pillars of human performance. And at Biolimitless, we focus on the precision testing to uncover the root cause of health problems by measuring the five performance aspects, the five pillars of human performance. The first one being genetic profile. We know that every man, woman, and child should have the opportunity to have their genetics uncovered. It's uncovering the blueprint, if you will, of how a person's life should be lived. It's a user's manual, if you will, for human peak performance. Uncovering the genetic profile can tell you how you should eat, how you should sleep, what foods you might be predisposed to being sensitive to. It can give you an idea of your biological versus chronological age. It can give you an idea of a window of time when your body's going to start deteriorating and breaking down more. It can give you action steps that you can take to reverse and mitigate a lot of those diseases that ultimately will turn into disease. I'll tell you, as a practicing medicine physician for the past 20 years, I don't see how I could possibly treat my patients without running a genetic profile. We also measure the central nervous system. That's your brain and your spinal cord. This evaluates literally the major computer system of your body. The brain and spinal cord are the hardwiring of your system. It tells your heart to pump, your lungs to breathe, your bowels to move, your cells to regenerate. So if there's dysfunction in the central nervous system, and I will tell you, after literally measuring tens of thousands of brains and central nervous systems, I will tell you that it's almost a shock when I don't find a problem. And understanding the neurology can really help us ensure optimal cognitive function as well. And I'll tell you that cognitive dysfunction, Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, depression, and all mental illness is on the rise. We have solutions to measure and to mitigate and to reverse a lot of these dysfunctions with the technology that exists today. We third measure the autonomic nervous system. This primarily assesses the brain-gut connection that we have. It assesses the vagus nerve and looks at the parasympathetic and sympathetic connections of the brain, which what I refer to the sympathetics as the gas pedal and the parasympathetics are the brakes. Well, most people are stuck on go. Their gas pedal is pedal to the metal. They are fight or flight, stress response, nonstop 365. And when that part of the brain goes up, the opposite part that allows you to rest, relax, grow, develop, and heal goes down. No wonder we're seeing a ridiculous rise in autoimmune issues, cancers, and other inflammatory chronic illnesses because there's dysfunction in the autonomic nervous system. And if you're not even looking at it as a problem, how can you possibly ever recognize it as a solution? Number four, we measure the microbiome. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, said, first fix the gut and all other things will fall into place. He said that all illness begins in the gut. He was right then, and he's right to this day. We have literally hundreds of trillions of bugs and bacteria and fungi and viruses that we're supposed to symbiotically coexist with. But if we don't analyze our gut health and the microbiota and the different diversity that we're supposed to have to support digestion, immune function, hormones, metabolism, and so much more, how can we possibly be healthy? And the answer is we can't. And then fifth and last but not least, we measure cellular matrix. Listen, it's been said that the quality of your health is in direct proportion to the quality of the health of your cells. Well, how can you know if your cells are healthy if you're not even looking at them under a microscope? If you're not even measuring what's in them, including toxicities, deficiencies, and so much more? This is truly the key to health, to measuring the five pillars of human performance in our what we refer to as our three-tiered examination system. And take a look at this. This is an overview of our three-tiered examination that we do at the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence. This exam can be done over one day or over the course of a few visits, depending upon time and need for the patient. The first is a neuromusculoskeletal, we call our basic exam. It targets pain and movement issues, which, again, according to the data, some 80 to 85% of the population has a problem with, and it's never addressed. Then we have our moderate exam, which is our functional medicine and functional neurology exam, which really looks at the root cause of chronic illness, which is destroying our ecosystem and our economy globally to this day. And then our third and final examination is what we call our elite human performance exam. It really focuses on vitality and optimizing longevity. So let's talk about our basic neuromusculoskeletal exam that really is not very basic. This exam is really designed for individuals with acute musculoskeletal pains and other neuromusculoskeletal problems, and it really offers a wide assessment to get to the root of people's physical problems. You see, it's been said that health is a balance of physical, chemical, and neuroemotional well-being. Well, the physical body is much like a vehicle. If your car's out of alignment, it's going to cause a problem with the oil consumption, with the gas mileage, with the tires. The same thing's true with the body. If your muscles, skeletal system, and your joints aren't moving and firing like they're supposed to, that's going to lead to problems with organ dysfunction, cellular dysfunction, brain dysfunction, and so much more. So we measure things like heart rate variability, thermography, surface EMG, X-rays, and other images like CTs and MRIs in our centers. And we do a very specific urinalysis screening for metabolic disorders and much more. Let's break this exam down a little bit. So first of all, we look at something called heart rate variability. By the way, heart rate variability is the gold standard in measuring sympathetic and parasympathetic activity in the brain. And we now know, all the medical literature and research is telling us that we're seeing massive amounts of something called dysautonomia in the body, which is dysfunction in the autoimmune system. Well, I'm going to tell you that mapping out and measuring brain activity can give us opportunities to have tailored, personalized treatment plans based off of the stress and recovery data that we find by measuring heart rate variability. We can also monitor patients' progress in real time with these therapeutics, and we can see the progression of it. You have to understand that the heart rate variability not only measures brain function from a neuromusculoskeletal standpoint, but it also breaks down different aspects in different brain waves. You see, we use this to assess cardiovascular and physical well-being of the body. It'll evaluate chronic stress, anxiety, autonomic imbalances, all of these different brain waves you see here, the delta, the theta, the alpha, the beta, the gamma, tell us more about the individual than oftentimes they know about themselves. And the validity of HRV testing as the gold standard of measuring sympathetic and parasympathetic activity is well established. If you've not had this type of test done, then you are absolutely not with the right healthcare practitioners. This can tell you why your body's doing what it's doing, why it's not doing the things that it should be doing, and so much more. It tells us the hormonal components, it tells us brain activities, and it tells us the connectivity between the brain and the physical body. Very important information. Then we look at thermography. Thermography is a non-invasive test that detects inflammation and heat patterns on the surface of the skin and muscles that indicates inflammation and abnormalities in the musculoskeletal system. We know that the vast majority of problems that people have with their muscles and their joints are from inflammation. This helps us uncover the root cause of the inflammation. You may have inflammation in the lower left-hand quadrant of your spine, but you may have pain coming from that in the upper right shoulder. But if you don't know where the root cause of the problem is, you may only be treating the accommodation, which is what most doctors are doing. And again, this enhances patient care by monitoring treatment progress and recovery. It takes the guesswork out of where the inflammation is, and we can see it in muscle, skin, and in organs. And this is backed by research for accuracy in identifying chronic inflammatory markers, especially at early stages of disorder. What about surface EMG? Surface EMG measures the muscle's function, its ability to contract and relax. Again, this is a non-invasive measurement of muscle activity and tension. It identifies areas of dysfunction, targeting treatment. Listen, we know for a fact that most joint problems people have, whether it's their knee, elbow, their shoulder, their hip, or even, yes, their spine, is caused by improper muscle contraction or relaxation patterns. By understanding the root of where the inflammatory and the muscle components are problematic at, enhances patients' care by tracking muscle response and allows us to measure in real time the efficacy of the treatments we're putting out. Again, this is massively supported by research for accuracy in diagnosing musculoskeletal disorders and monitoring one's progress. I don't know how any doctor who is measuring the function of their body, which should be every doctor should be measuring the function of their patient's body. I don't know how you could possibly practice successfully without technology like this. And then what about imaging? Obviously, x-rays, MRIs, and CTs and ultrasounds are diagnostic tools that we'll be using in our clinics every day. X-rays are non-invasive structural detecting issues. They measure fractures, misalignments, structural abnormalities. We can measure with our ultrasounds what's going on inside the joint. We can look at the disc spaces. I mean, it provides a clear insight for diagnosing musculoskeletal issues. And I'm going to tell you, it is a liability for any physician to be treating you with any type of neuromusculoskeletal pain that hasn't taken an x-ray. I can't tell you the times that I found, cancers or other bone diseases in individuals that if we didn't take an x-ray, we wouldn't have had a clue this was going on. And obviously, it's essential for monitoring the progress, especially if you have scoliosis or joint degeneration in the knees or the elbows or shoulders or even in the spine. We want to see the curves straightening out. We want to see the joint spaces opening. And obviously, the support with research and the efficacy of x-rays and CTs, MRIs, and ultrasounds, they go without stating. And then we run a urinalysis test. This is just our basic exam, a simple non-invasive urinalysis test that can tell us so much more about you. You can't even believe it. It measures for infections, dehydrations. It tells us if you have candida parasites. It tells us if you have enzyme deficiencies, or it measures the pH of your body, which Otto Weinberg won a Nobel Prize in the 1940s, showing that if pH levels are acidic, below a 7, that's going to create an environment for toxicity and sickness to thrive, including osteoarthritis and other joint deteriorating and muscle deteriorating conditions. These tests are very basic, but very powerful. And after our examination is done, then we're going to do some simple physical medicine, some customized protocols, whether it's chiropractic, osteopathic therapies, physical therapy, pain management naturally, whether it's an IV with vitamins or stem cells or exosomes or peptides. There's so many things that we can do to help improve the neuromusculoskeletal body once we find the abnormalities in this aspect of the system. The second thing that we look at is we measure the functional medicine of the body. So, functional medicine and functional neurology, measuring heart function, autonomic nervous system deeper, and then a very, very comprehensive blood panel. You see, an EKG is the gold standard for measuring cardiovascular and heart function. I can't tell you in the last 20 years how many thousands, probably closer to tens of thousands of patients that we've been able to find that had arrhythmias or ischemias, lack of blood flow, or other cardiovascular issues that the patients had no symptoms of and they did not know they had. So we're able to literally tell the patients that they are proverbially standing on the railroad tracks and the train's coming and they have the opportunity to step off the tracks so they don't get hit with a heart attack. Did you know that the number one symptom that you have cardiovascular disease that most people typically have is the heart attack that either kills them or puts them in the hospital? This enhances patient care by providing early detection, and we can monitor in real time how our therapeutics are improving cardiovascular function. And again, backed by decades of medical and scientific research that shows abnormalities in the cardiovascular system. Now we look at the autonomic nervous system. This advanced autonomic nervous system measuring device measures the autonomic nervous system and microcirculation testing, which is extremely powerful. It is a very comprehensive test that can be done within 10 minutes. And in real time, it can analyze and, by the way, give us a very user-friendly interface that not only physicians can understand, but we can give this amazing report to our patients and they can tell the function of their autonomic nervous system, how their circulation is flowing in their body. They can detect, look at this, early detections of chronic metabolic disorders like type 2 diabetes. We can assess vascular health. We can tell if the pain that you have is coming from a nerve problem, like a small nerve fiber issue, or if it's coming from a vascular claudication, a small blood clot, which we are finding more and more in the last several years than we have in the last 20 years combined in my practices. It can monitor the autonomic nervous system and vascular complications. I can tell if someone is insulin resistant, if their endothelial wall in their body, which is the outside layer of every single cell in their system, is functioning or dysfunctioning. We can measure small fiber neuropathies, cardiovascular issues, and cardiometabolic risk disorders, which can really tell us, again, is that person standing on the tracks and are they about to get smoked by some chronic disease? We can fix those problems by finding the root of those problems. And by the way, this has a 95.7% accuracy, backed by the highest levels of research that are on the marketplace today. Then we run a very comprehensive metabolic wellness blood panel. Through very thorough blood analysis, we're going to measure the markers for inflammation. We're going to measure all your vitamins and minerals, nutritional deficiencies, and toxicities. We're going to look at your hormones. We're going to look at how your metabolic health is. We're going to be able to detect if there's any imbalances, putting you at a higher risk for cardiovascular disease or disorders. We can even measure if you have any primitive pathogens in your body, things like Candida, Epstein-Barr virus, and cytomegalovirus, and so much more. And again, this enhances the patient's care by offering personalized insights for true treatment and true prevention. We can make customized peptides, customized vitamin IVs, customized hormone and nutritional protocols for our patients simply based off of this comprehensive blood test alone. And then when the patient's completed the functional medicine examination, now it's time to start adding some of the other therapies to their protocol, including IV therapies, nutraceuticals, lifestyle changes, peptides, bioregulators, natural hormone therapies, and much, much more. Then the third and final piece of our exam is the human peak performance or elite examination. The human performance exam is our top tier exam, and it's really designed for individuals who want to optimize their health, who not just want to go down the path of anti-aging, but longevity. And we're adding to this exam. So the basic exam, now we have the moderate exam. Now we add the third component. By the way, in the first exam, it's the first exam by itself. The moderate exam is the basic and moderate. And now the third is the basic, moderate. And now the final piece is the human performance elite exam, which is an ultrasound. So we can see in real time the function of your main organs, and a genetic analysis, the Biolimitless DNA Discovery Analysis Kit, which has been proven to be an absolute game changer for so many people out there. Look, when we measure organ function, we can see that there might be some calcification or issues in the thyroid or the heart or the aorta or the kidneys or the carotid arteries where we cannot find them yet in the blood. You see, the blood is always going to rob Peter to pay Paul to keep everything balanced with homeostasis. But by looking at the carotids, the kidneys, the hearts, we can tell blockages, we can look at aneurysms, and we can tell organ function or dysfunction by its movement. This is powerful. It's a non-invasive imaging to really assess overall organ function. And by the way, early diagnosis is the key for all things. And again, I cannot tell you how many folks we've been able to pick up on thyroid dysfunction, on cardiovascular problems, and early stage kidney issues that if someone wouldn't have found out for 5 to 10 years later, they could have had true full-blown disease already. This is what real healthcare, self-care is about, understanding yourself. This is a true assessment of helping you find the root cause of the problem. And then the genetic analysis. Listen, every man, woman, and child should have access to a genetic profile, a roadmap, a user's manual, if you will, to tell you how, based off of your 800,000 genetic markers, we can tell you how to detox your body, reduce inflammation, balance your hormones, reduce your risk of diseases. We can tell you if you have genetic predisposition for chronic illnesses like heart disease, diabetes, and so much more. And then through enhanced patient care and identifying the self-assessments that you need to be doing, we can give you an action step to be proactive, to manage your health, to tell you how to eat, sleep, exercise, supplement. I mean, all the things that you want to know. And we give you an app, an at-home application that you can literally scroll through, and you can have your own workout plans, your own dietary meal plans, all literally on your app at the comfort and convenience of your own home. This has never been done before, folks. This is truly healthcare by helping you understand that self-care is the real healthcare. Now, after our elite performance exam, now we can add some more physical medicine, some IV therapy. Now we can customize food plans, exercise plans, and so much more. After this third and final component, you will have the map and the keys and the car to, well, drive your body to the health that you desire. Now let's talk about some of the services that we offer. Again, these are self-care services. Look, our Center of Excellence, again, is all about genetic profile, central nervous system, autonomic, microbiome, and cellular health matrix. The central nervous system therapies are used to optimize and balance brain function. We can enhance and improve cognitive function, emotional instability, and resistance against stress. This is true stress relief through neurofeedback, biofeedback, brainwave training, brain mapping. There are so many simple things that you can do precisely with sniper rifle accuracy, how to improve cognitive brain function, reducing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases that are plaguing mankind globally today. I was just with the Make America Healthy Again campaign, and RFK Jr. was talking about mental illness as being one of the biggest problems in our society to this day. And the American Medical Association is trying to figure out, how do we find money to put institutions together, because we're going to have the highest amount of institutionalized Americans for mental illness over the next 7 to 10 years, instead of going after the root of the problem. It is absolutely insane. Biolimitless centers of excellence are a solution for the root of the problems. And it starts with the central nervous system therapy. We also have autonomic nervous system therapy, where we can restore and regulate the brain, the sympathetic and parasympathetic. You're going to find that most people have a condition called dysautonomia, which leads to autoimmune issues, which leads to suffering, symptoms, and ultimately early death. And it's all about balancing that sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system by focusing on vagus nerve stimulation through therapeutics, through exercises, through nutraceuticals and supplements, by reducing anxiety and improving overall health of the nervous system, which is the most important system in the body. If the nervous system doesn't work proper, no other system can work like it's supposed to. We also optimize the microbiome. We have treatment plans that personalize probiotic protocols for you. We tell you what to eat, what supplements to take. We have some very unique protocols and products that are special and specialized to precise probiotic rebuild of the microbiome and the microbiota of the body. We're going to do specific gut health testing, dietary guidelines. It's all about balancing out that vagus nerve and the parasympathetic. By the way, 80 to 90% of that parasympathetic nervous system is in the small and large intestine. And this is all about improving immune health, improving mental health, and improving metabolic function, which is one of the leading causes of death in America is and globally is metabolic dysfunction. Then genetics and DNA analysis. We identify genetic factors that are going to cause increased risk for certain diseases. Then we can make a customized plan to detox, to balance hormones, to improve cell function, you name it. Then we're going to improve the cellular matrix by improving cellular health. Listen, to rejuvenate cellular health by targeting inflammation. It's been said that cellular inflammation is the root cause of all disease. And I agree. If we can reduce the cellular inflammation, if we can improve oxidative stresses, and if we can help with cellular aging by support of repair and longevity of the cells, if our cells live longer, our tissues live longer, our organs live longer, we live longer. So we're going to have therapies that are things like specific peptides for individuals, whether they're injectable, topical, or oral, anti-inflammatory protocols through lifestyle changes, IV nutritional therapies, regenerative therapies like stem cells, exosomes, and bioidenticals, and much, much more. But let me tell you something. Do you know most people don't even have somebody analyze their cells anymore? They run a blood test to look at their cholesterol, their blood sugars. Do they have an infection? But what about your vitamins, minerals, and nutrients? What about the health of your cell? What about the makeup of your cells? That's what we do. This is a true cellular matrix assessment in our centers. We find the need a lot for balancing hormone therapy naturally. Hormones are one of the compounds in the body that signals the cells to regenerate and wake up and move. And we need to identify and treat hormone imbalances, helping with energy and mood and metabolism. And I mean, everything from muscle health to bone health to sexual performance. I mean, hormone support is essential, and we're all about doing it safe and natural with bioidenticals, peptides, lifestyle change, and much, much more. Detoxification therapy. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, one of the biggest pillars of health is you got to understand you must first clear the clutter. If I'm going to regenerate the body and get the body healthy, I got to first clear out the clutter. And most people have massive detoxification pathways that are congested, whether it's the liver, the kidneys, the intestines, the skin, you name it. If you can't detoxify, your body's building up with the 700,000 chemicals that you're being in contact with every single day. And our systems are built to enhance the body's detoxification pathways for removal of things like plastics and heavy metals and forever chemicals and all these things through supplementation, IV nutrition, chelation therapy, our infrared light therapies, the foot baths, the list goes on and on and on about what we can do. And then it's not just about inflammation management, it's inflammation reduction. We want to add and address the fact that chronic inflammation really is the root cause, and reducing cellular inflammation through lifestyle adjustments, targeted supplementation, dietary support, you name it. It's the key. It's so important. And we have to measure it. What gets measured gets managed. Okay. We have to measure it. And then peak performance and athletic optimization, whether you're a kid playing sports, whether you're a corporate athlete, whether you're an Olympic athlete, a professional athlete, or everybody in between, your physical body, your joints, your muscles, and the makeup of your physical body performance is essential for longevity. Look, if we don't have healthy, strong muscles, we're going to get blood sugar issues. We don't have healthy, strong muscles, we're going to end up having issues of inflammatory problems and autoimmune issues. Listen, the purpose of this is to boost physical and mental performance for athletes and high achievers of all levels. And it's going to include customized fitness plans and recovery protocols and injury prevention strategies. You have to understand One of our chief longevity experts that works with us talks about how 100 is the new 30. He has a 30-year-old mind, a 30-year-old body, and a 300-year-old mind is what he says. And I love that. But he also says if you're not training like a 30-year-old, you're not going to have a 30-year-old body. If you're not training like a 20-year-old, you're not going to have a 20-year-old body. The keys to longevity are having good physical, chemical, and neuroemotional well-being, and peak physical performance is a big piece of that. Lifestyle and nutritional coaching, we're going to be able to provide tailored dietary and lifestyle support on a genetic and cellular level. This goes way beyond, filling out a survey and here, try this diet, or here, try that diet. It takes the guesswork out of it. We're going to be focusing on genetic balancing, on hormone balancing, on gut health and vitality, on a cellular and genetic expression. Based off of your own genes, we can tell you what foods to eat, foods to avoid, supplements to take, and even when to take them. It's very powerful. And then we're going to be offering a tremendous amount of mind-body therapeutics. Look, it's no shock that depression, anxiety, and insomnia are massively on the rise. It's no shock that SSRI medications are not working. It's no shock that we have mental illness at the forefront of the healthcare conversations, and it just keeps getting worse. And there's no solution because it can't be reversed by taking more drugs. It just can't. We've proven that time and time again. And integrating relaxation techniques, brain tapping techniques to truly reduce your stress, mindfulness therapeutics, breath work, meditation, all these things that have been clinically proven to improve the function of the nervous system and reduce the damage that stress, and every man, woman, and child has stress on them all the time. But what if there was a way you could build up your anti-stress muscles in your body? And that's what the mind-body therapies are all about. We're also all about biohacking and advanced monitoring. We have wearable devices where they're watches, rings. We have sleep devices you can wear to help not just keep you in balance, but if you get out of balance, it literally can do therapeutics to your body while you're resting, while you're sitting at your desk working. And we can monitor in real time. And your app that you have, the Biolimitless app, can monitor in real time everything from your steps, your calories, your sleeping, your heart rate variability. Because if we don't measure it, and we don't have periodic assessments, it's very difficult to tailor how to optimize, your health and your peak performance, whether it's your brain, your heart, your circulation, or etc. We're going to be offering services like chiropractic and osteopathic therapies. Look, we know that when you implement chiropractic and osteopathic care into a full health and wellness program, you get better results, you spend less money, you have less problems. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for that. It's going to help with musculoskeletal alignment. It helps with aches and pains, headaches and migraines. It's going to improve mobility of the body. We want to move the body on a large level by exercising and stretching, but we need to move on a macro level, the little joints. If the joints aren't moving proper, the nerves that come out of those joints don't work proper. The structure precedes the neurological function. If the structures of the joints are off, the function of the nerves are going to be off, and now the function of the organs are going to be off. It's all related. And by the way, using chiropractic and osteopathic therapies actually has more research that shows benefit of using these to improve organ function and cellular function than it does just to reduce pain. And it's awesome at reducing pain. We're going to have certain types of advanced physical therapies and medical procedures. We're going to be incorporating muscle movement, strengthening exercise, incorporating your conventional physical therapy with advanced modalities like PEMF devices, which are post-electromagnetic field therapies. We're going to be using vibrational therapies, and we're going to be doing all kinds of advanced therapeutics in the field of joint injections with stem cells and exosomes, and trigger point injections and acupuncture work and IV therapies and IV stem cells and exosomes, manual therapies, muscle therapies, and so much more. I mean, all this will reduce inflammation, reduce pain, promote healing, and improve the quality and function of your life physically, chemically, and neuroemotionally. We're going to be using hyperbaric therapy. I'm a huge fan of HBOT. Hyperbaric therapy increases oxygen to the tissues, has been shown to help remyelinate damaged nerve tissues. It helps the skin heal. It helps the brain heal. We know that where you have more oxygen, you have more red blood cells. We have more red blood cells and oxygen, you have faster turnaround of damaged tissue, and we heal faster. It promotes faster recovery physically and neuroemotionally. It reduces inflammation and enhances cellular recovery. This is an absolute game changer that we're bringing this to the clinics as well. And we're bringing the highest quality of hyperbaric therapy to the marketplace. We also are bringing some manual techniques that we're bringing to the office in the form of something called soft wave therapy. Soft wave therapy stimulates through electrical soft waves. It stimulates tissues to repair and regenerate, breaks up scar tissue adhesions, and allows the muscles to realign so that when you use them, they actually function properly. This promotes faster healing and reduces pain almost instantly. Whether it's knee pain, back pain, hip pain, joint pain, neck pain, spinal pain, soft wave therapy in conjunction with all the other therapeutics we offer are truly a game changer. All these therapies are powerful, but you have to understand it's getting someone well. It's not just having all these tools, it's knowing the combination to open up the safe. And the only way we know that is through the precision testing we have. We have diagnostic and therapeutic ultrasounds to reduce pain and promote tissue healing. We can take vitamins and magnesium and peptide and all kinds of stuff, put it on the skin, put that ultrasound on there and drive that down so that it works on a local level where we can put the anti-inflammatories and the proteins and the amino acids right into that muscle to relax the joint, relax the muscle, and speed up healing of injuries that you have. We use something called accelerated recovery performance wave therapy. It's an AC/DC current with microcurrent in it as well that helps the muscles, nerves, and organs get the right frequency that they're supposed to be stimulated at. This really is amazing for the vagus nerve and other nerve dysfunctions that a lot of our patients have. And what this does for pain reduction is an absolute game changer for folks. We also have other advanced forms of electrical stimulation therapy. We use different types of galvanic currents, pulse electromagnetic currents. Listen, your body's an electrical being. Your organs have a certain frequency. Your muscles have a certain frequency. Your brain and nerves have a certain frequency. We want to use these technologies to get that frequency dialed back up where it's supposed to be. That'll help improve nerve function, muscle function, reduce pain, and improve circulation and promote healing. Very, very powerful for things like chronic pain and other types of issues that people have. We're going to be using technologies like spinal decompression, which when I put that into my practice, I deal with a lot of patients with chronic pain, a lot of spinal pain. Some 80% of the population has regular recurrent low back pain. And most of it is because the spine is compressed. Well, when the spine compressed, the little disc, it's like a little jelly donut, it bulges out of the side and it irritates and rubs on the nerve. Well, chiropractic adjustments, osteopathic adjustments, and physical therapy by themselves do not reverse that. But if I can take those joints and slowly decompress them, it's an advanced form of traction, and it's opening and closing. And every time it opens and closes those joints, it's like a plunger. It literally sucks like a vacuum. It sucks that disc space back inside that joint where it's supposed to be. And this is phenomenal for herniated disc, bulging disc, sciatica, pinched nerves, neuropathies in the feet, any type of spinal cord injuries. This therapy is amazing for those individuals. We also have advanced neurofeedback and biofeedback therapies to improve mental focus, emotional regulation. It retrains the brain. Listen, I want you to understand that we now know that most people who have chronic pain actually have a chronic brain problem. And we know that chronic pain reduces the gray matter of the brain. And if the brain isn't working like it's supposed to, how can the body possibly heal itself? And just giving you a shot of cortisone or a painkiller or an opioid, man, that doesn't do a dang thing to you. So by retraining the brain, getting the brain to balance, we can help with things like depression, anxiety, insomnia, people that are on the autism spectrum, folks that have bipolar disorders, manic. We see all kinds of people with conditions, but then we also, more than anything, help people whose brains are balanced stay balanced. It's so much easier to raise a healthy child than it is to fix a broken adult. It's so much easier to maintain health when you have it than it is to try to reverse it to get it back to normal once you've lost that health. I want you to understand that the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence are limitless of what we're going to be doing. We're all about precision diagnostics and precision therapeutics based off of that individual's need. Where we have a test, don't guess philosophy, where we want to take you down the process of self examination, where we can help you uncover more about yourself. We're going to give you the map, the keys, and the car, but you still got to drive to your health. And I cannot wait to see the results that you, your friends, your family, and your community have. So, folks, until we meet again, Dr. Eric Naputi, God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. Stay smart out there, and I'll see you next time. Be well.